1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Almost a weekend and you don't know what to do. Or you just need something fun to listen to. Southside Pod! Yes, we're on the air. And the gang's all here, all things on the South Side. We're listening to the Southside Pod. Looking for the best Southside breweries. Or you might just need an awesome place to eat. Southside Pod! Mount Greenwood, Evergreen, Blue Island, Beverly, Payless, and all sub 2. You're tuned into the Southside Pod. Southside Pod! Oakland, Midlothian, Oak Forest, Chicago Ridge, Flossmoor, and Bridgeview. You're listening to Southside Pod!
This is Southside Pod. My name is Chris. That's Bill. That's Mike. 30 minutes of good and a world of dumb from my 9-foot homemade oak bar in my basement here on the South Side. I judged in a brisket cooking competition over the weekend. We're going to get some audio from that. I was also a judge at a pizza competition. I'm kind of becoming a judge of things around the South Side. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I'm very judgy. The mayor of Hometown, Frank Finnegan, is also stopping by here, his second appearance on the show. He's always got tips for me about Southside Pod. We'll see if he's got anything for us on this episode. It's all brought to you by Family Waterproofing Solutions. You heard their ad at the beginning of the show. Bowing walls, window wells, foundation crack repairs, sump pumps, gutter cleaning, anything that keeps water out of your basement and keeps your family dry.com. We're going to kick it off at Matt's Barbecue in Lamont, where they did Q on Canal this past weekend. I will let you in on a little secret. I judged the brisket. The one I had number 1 did not win. So all of you losers out there, you can't blame me. Let's go. Matt,
yes.
You were so busy you gave me 5 minutes. This thing is insane.
It's more than we thought.
Yeah, first time always. You never know what you're going to expect.
Right, for sure.
Tell me a little bit about this event and why you came up with doing it.
So I like golfing on Father's Day,
Yeah.
right? I feel like a lot of dads do, and one of those things. You wake up, you go to the driving range, you hit some golf balls, you play 18 holes, then you get done, and you're like, what do I do? Like, that's the end of my Father's Day for me. Like that. So I thought, you know what, this might be a good idea to try to make something out of it. It's our 1-year anniversary right around this time too, so we kind of, jumbled everything up and balled it all into one thing, and here we are.
Well, Matt's Barbecue is, first of all, really good place to try. I just ate again, the second time here.
Thank you.
It was even better than the first, and I can't believe that. You're going through food like crazy here.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I had was your burnt ends, and then I had your brisket sandwich. The competition you have going on behind us here,
right?
That's brisket, right?
That's brisket.
What's
yes.
the secret to a good brisket?
Secret to a brisket: wrap it well. Make sure you're trimming it nice. I think wrapping and holding is a big deal, especially for us. Like, we hold our briskets overnight, so we'll finish cooking our briskets. Like the briskets that we're serving
what is
today.
Holding
is putting them into a warmer.
Okay.
Sitting at about 170 degrees.
So you make it, you're done, then you hold it overnight.
So at 3, usually about 3 a.m. is when we pull our briskets off. And then from 3 a.m. they sit in a warmer and they rest. And now they're resting in beef tallow, because we add beef tallow to ours, which is like the beef trimmings, the fat. We render it down, we add it back into the foil, and then we let it sit in that fat. So then the bark stays safe on the top for the most part, and then the bottom, has a chance to absorb all that fat and soften it up.
That's crazy to me. It's like you have an overnight crew, so you got to work 24 hours a day to have a barbecue place.
We do about 21 hours. Is what we typically work for our cooking, So we'll do, like I said, that cook, and then usually the pit will go down for about 3 hours, and then our morning stuff goes on, our ribs, our burn ends, all the other stuff. So yeah, right. It's kind of nonstop.
So you got this group behind us here. They're all from. Are these like professionals? Are these restaurants? Are these like guys in their backyards?
A little bit of everything, actually.
Yeah.
Some have won some awards. Some own some sauce businesses and different things like that. Some are your guys from around Lamont that I sit there and drink beer with, and
they're like, I can cook.
They're like, I know how to do this. I said, bring it. Here, turn it up. Let's try it out.
Do you ever get neighbors that talk junk and they're like, I can do this?
Oh yeah.
Really?
Half of them are here.
They
all think
they can
go
outdo
ahead, you do it. Like you sit here and do it. Now the fun thing is they get to go home and not do it again.
Yeah.
Like we do it every day. So I mean, obviously obviously we enjoy it and everything, but it is, for us, it's a giant process. So it's fun to kind of go back to your roots and do it like this, and like the old school stuff that we used to do, just kind of messing around, having your beer, and just enjoying it.
Canal Street is packed. You have a line 4 doors down. How does that make you feel today? Did you decide you're going to try to do something on Father's Day weekend? You don't know how it's going to work, and the entire village came out.
I got to tell you, it's I love it. I almost feel bad at this point just because it's so much more than we anticipated. So I just know we're going to be out of food quick. And we tried so hard to do it, but I think we sold 250 tickets as far as pre-sale tickets, and I mean, there's probably 2,000 people.
Yeah, there's like 2,000 people.
Yeah,
there's a lot of walk-ups.
So right, so it's some. I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of bad reviews on this too. So if anybody hears this, I apologize next time.
I had a good time.
And you know what? We still got a lot of beer, so we can keep people happy, I think.
Somebody wants to check out Matt's Barbecue. Tell them real quick where to find you.
308 Canal Street, downtown Lamont. You can check us out at mattsbarbecuelamont.com. Facebook, Matt's Barbecue Lamont is a private page that we do. A lot of times when if we say we don't sell out, we'll pop some discounts on that at the end of the day. You can come pick up some brisket and things like that. So.
And the pork belly burnt ends are really good.
Burnt ends, people love them.
They're really good.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Things.
All right, well, Matt's got a ton of work to do, so I'm going to let him go. Thanks so much for having us out. Really great time.
Thanks for coming out. I appreciate it.
Another good interview on the Southside Pod. How come Mike and me are never invited to these things? I want to go.
Me too.
You never invite us. Maybe next time.
Last episode of Southside Pod, the title of the episode, A Man and His Monkey. And remember, you can get every episode on demand whenever you want it, anywhere. Podcasts can be found and always at southsidepod.com. Subscribe. That way you never miss a show. But we were talking about Any Which Way But Loose and the sequel, Any Which Way You Can, Clint Eastwood and Clyde, the orangutan, and Bill, I guess all week long, has been lost in the story of Clyde, and he still has monkeys on his mind, Mike, which ties right in with my visit to Brookfield Zoo. And I find out that the reason you can't walk behind the gorillas now in Tropic World Asia.
They throw their poop?
No. They have now been able, through AI technology and these computers and stuff, to be able to communicate with the gorillas. And the gorillas told them that it makes them uncomfortable, and they'll stay up where the crowd can see them and interact with people if they don't let people get the high ground behind them.
Huh.
So they've closed it. So the gorillas basically said, if you want a better show here in Tropic World Asia, we'll give it to you. But you got to shut down that thing there.
When did they close that part off?
They shut it down. It was probably during COVID. Everything happened during COVID.
Been there in like
all of a sudden, you had to tip everybody during COVID. That continued.
Still got to tip everybody.
Some of these places are trying to rip you off by making you pay the credit card fee. Okay, instead of them picking it up. That happened during COVID. It hasn't gone away. Everything happened during COVID. COVID changed that. COVID didn't. What was funny was they said the world will always be different. You'll never shake a hand again. I shake hands and hug strangers now, right? But
then you tip them.
You have to.
Yeah.
I hug hands and straight shakers. But I'm on a whole internet rabbit hole here of the way primates have been treated in movies.
We might have to start a different podcast just to cover
that. They had to go after Hollywood because they originally trained orangutans, including Clyde, with mace and a pipe wrapped in newspaper. That's how
terrible.
They trained them.
That's terrible. That's terrible. That's awful.
Anything about the monkeys from Wizard of Oz?
Why are you still doing this?
Those weren't real monkeys, dude. Those were costumes.
In what? The Wizard of Oz?
Those were costumes, bro. But they treated the munchkins bad, though.
Yeah, that's true. The munchkins. They'll hit the munchkins.
They trained them with mace and a pipe wrapped in newspaper.
That's what happened. See, if you go back, shut up. You go back into history.
Newspapers were much thicker back then, too.
That was the only place you got your news, so they had to put a lot into it. The paper was thicker back then, too, because the trees were older.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
I don't think that's how it works, Bill.
Munchkins got older. They were like, at least they're hitting the orangutans instead of us now. Yeah. That's the
after they lost their jobs to the orangutans.
Well, yeah, that's what happened because the orangutans replaced them.
So what were we talking about?
I don't know. But now the munchkins are being hit with newspapers and pipes. I don't know if you were keeping up.
That's the only proper way to train a munchkin.
If you skipped ahead on the podcast hitting that 30-second thing a couple of times, you missed the munchkins from Wizard of Oz being hit with pipes wrapped in newspaper. You missed that part. Go back.
Clock strikes upon the hour and the sun begins to fade. Still enough time to figure out how to chase my blues away. I've done alright up to now. It's the light of day that shows me how. And when the night falls, loneliness calls. Oh, I want to dance with somebody. I want to feel the heat with somebody. Yeah, I want to dance with somebody. Oh, with somebody who loves me.
Southside Pod listeners, if you're looking towards retirement, if you're right at the beginning, right at the end, you don't know where you're at, Tom Walsh, your Edward Jones financial advisor, is there for you. I keep my money with him. Bill keeps his money with him. Mike's an idiot. He's falling behind. Don't be like Mike. Couple of decades of experience, actually more than that now. Get to know your approach and a do the right thing attitude. And every time I have a question, no matter how stupid I think my question is, I can reach out to Tom and he explains it to me. I'm not the kind of person that understands all the financial ins and outs and how to grow my money responsibly and hopefully as quickly as possible. It's Plain Talk with Tom Walsh. Check him out, 111th and Kedzie. He's right on the corner, or give him a call, 773-779-0023. Sitting down here at the 9-foot homemade oak bar, Frank Finnegan is the mayor of Hometown. This is his second time on this show. He came bearing gifts. What is this scotch that you brought me? How are you?
Chris, good evening. How are you? I'm doing fantastic. Thanks for having me again. Second time guest. It's a Scotch malt whiskey and it's Oban. It's just delicious. It's fantastic. I love the peat moss in there. It hits you in the back end and sticks for a little bit. So enjoy.
I'm going to tell you something. I was a Scotch guy before I became a bourbon guy. It's different, you know? And I haven't had a Scotch in a while, but I'm enjoying this.
Good.
Okay,
good.
I am enjoying it. You asked me, like, do you drink Scotch? And I was like, yeah, I do. I've drank it before. Bourbon's been my thing lately. That's kind of like what I've really fallen into is a lot of bourbon.
Well, listen to the podcast. I hear more about the bourbons of the Bourbon Trail than I do the Scotch Trail.
You're looking for Scotch talk. Look at you. Every time you're on the show, you got notes for me.
Well, you know, and I hope you were able to savor that jerk taco egg roll.
Oh, it was good. It was good. You brought me food last time. It was good.
That's like, once it hits the back of your throat, you can't stop eating.
Frank brings me stuff. I've noticed most politicians that come on. I don't want to brand you as that too, because you know what? You are different from some of the politicians I get in here who are very political. I have had people that come on this show and other shows that have 3 handlers that walk in the room with them while they're sitting at the bar, and it really kind of takes away from the vibe when you got 2 people with cell phones in their ears keeping track of what's going on while you're trying to interview somebody. But you showed up in your old school Denver Broncos cap, right?
No, that's a Bull Durham. That's a
That's
Durham
a Bull
Bulls.
Durham cap.
Yes.
Oh, you're right. I see it now.
A Father's Day gift from my son. So
that's nice. I like that.
Yeah.
That makes it even cooler.
That's right.
That makes it even cooler right there. But I mean, you just kind of show up and you bring some drinks. You sit down at the bar. You're nice and relaxed. We've been chatting here for a while before you get going. So I don't want to pigeonhole you in. But little tip: politicians bring food. They bring food. They bring drink. They bring all kinds of stuff. And you do it too. And I love all of you for doing it. It's great.
People in office. That's what I'll say.
People in office.
But also, you know, to quote you on your introduction, I'm bellying up to the 9-foot oak bar. Mm-hmm. What if I'm here? When in Rome.
Right.
So here we are.
No, that's perfect. Yeah. I like to schedule you in the evening so I don't feel bad drinking.
I appreciate that.
I'll tell you this. I'll tell you a little secret before we dive into this with what you got going on in Hometown. I had a guy show up here a little while back to do an interview, showed up with all kinds of beer on a Tuesday at 1 p.m. And I could tell right away he just wanted to party the rest of the day after the interview was over. And I was like, I'm sorry, man. I've got like 3 more interviews and like I'm working today. Like I can't cut off at 1 p.m.
No,
you know?
kids are coming home from school soon.
When they come over for the noon interview, I'm not drinking down here. Like I might crack one and keep it next to me because I feel bad because that person came to drink. Sure. But I'm saving it for night. So I knew I wanted you in the evening.
8:30, sunset's right here. So.
You're perfect. You're my last thing of the day. We're
I appreciate that.
All right, so Hometown. the tiny little suburb that gets overlooked. We've talked about this before.
Yes,
okay?
sir.
You got 2 food places there right now?
Yeah, we do.
You got the pizza place, you got the burrito place.
Pizza Plus is about a staple 30-some years.
Yeah.
Then we got La Playita. Jerry over the La Playita.
They have actually really good, it's not
good.
just burritos. I use them for burritos a lot, but they make some really good food in there. And it's one of my go-to places on the south side.
Yeah, close.
Yeah, really, really good. Okay. And then you got your car wash that's over there.
Yeah,
the
Simon's,
big giant one you
the
have.
Simon's Car Wash. Well, also has a place in Alsop. Yeah, it's brand new, great.
Right. And then you got your speed trap going down Southwest Highway.
You can say that, and you can put that on repeat for all the listeners. Yes, sir.
All right. So, but you also have a gazebo gifted to you.
Yes.
By another suburb. Tell me about this.
Yeah. So it's about 3 or 4 years ago. The mayor of Evergreen Park, Jim Sexton, and the former mayor Kevin Casey of Hometown were such good friends growing up. They've continued that friendship, and then both became men of position. And I believe there was a time where Evergreen Park was going to, looking to get rid of that gazebo that apparently was at Drury Lane and then went to Circle Park.
Yeah, it was in the area where they built the new community center. Mm-hmm. So the thing was, they needed to get that out of the way to build their brand new facility that they were building. Yes,
correct. So
and you know what? The youths were all standing in there.
Yeah, it was commiserating.
It was becoming like a thing where they had to clear it out all the time.
Dark
I want to
lighting.
say they ended up putting a camera in the park and just pointing it at the gazebo because it was attracting people to the gazebo that they were like, go home. It's late. Get out of the gazebo.
Street lights are on.
Right. So he took his problem. He sent it to Hometown.
Another man's trash is one another man's treasure, pretty much. We're more than willing to, and it was great shape. So we built an octagonal concrete pad. They brought it over on a flatbed with a crane, and it fits perfect. And
it's really nice. It's a big gazebo.
It is. It's very big, and we have it well lit. We have flags around the whole perimeter of it, and it's in a great position in the back of what we call now Mayor's Park. That former Kevin Casey got that park for us, for the town and the kids, and to actually honor all the former mayors. So it's well sit back in the south end of that lot, and it nestled back there. And we had our first inaugural concert to celebrate the 70th anniversary of the incorporation of Hometown, June 3rd. The incorporation was June 6th, but it worked out on a Saturday, and it was fantastic. We had about 74 people, great crowd. It was a cool night, and a local band from Oak Lawn played, and it set off a great tone. And we scheduled 5 more events throughout the summer to finish out through August, and we have 4 more artists booked, and the next one coming is July 2nd.
There's a lot of suburbs that do summer concert series, and they do these free concerts, and they're in certain areas, and they have a park set up. And I know Evergreen does it because I'm in Evergreen, but I know a lot of other suburbs are doing it. I know, all the way out to Lamont, they have regular events that they run, and there's different shows, and there's things that they just have set up, and it gives people an opportunity to get out and be with their neighbors. And I feel like that those have increased since we came out of the great troubles. Like, it's like, you know what? This is what people want to go and do. And it gives an opportunity for not only local bands, but a lot of different kind of music. You know, I mean, you get big bands that come out there. You get horns out there. You get folk music out there. You get rock bands out there. You can kind of do everything with it. So I get why Hometown's like, we got to do this too, because it's a really nice way to get your area, your suburb, and even people from outside of it who want to come see it into your place to see what you're all about. And it's good family fun. And you just see everybody doing it now. I think it's a really cool idea.
It is, because it's not just, and the beauty of it being a Mayor's Park, we have a water park there. It's something for everybody. So parents, if younger kids can sit, listen to music with their wagon, and they have their kids play at the park. You've got, we have a lot of older folks in our town that this gives them something to do. They can't travel. So, Hometown's 0.51 square miles. So, anything's within walking distance for that matter. So it is. And I tell you, once you go there, you got to make, you and the boys got to come at least for one event for a little bit just to see and experience the way it's nestled back in the back of that lot. And it's just it really is a perfect little find that wasn't really intended to be, if it's happening that way. And I'm excited for it. We have some great local artists, and the first one was, if it's not a taste of what's to come, I'm excited.
My wife is from Wheeling, West Virginia. That's where she's born. And I say that and people go, wow, small town. Well, then she didn't even live there. She lived in Mingo Junction up the Ohio River. Okay. And that's the town from the Deer Hunter. It still looks the same.
Get out of here.
Oh, God. The first time I went to go pick her up, we've been married 19 years this week. And I will never forget the first time I went to go pick her up there. I was doing radio, and I knew where I had met her, and we were going on a date. And I went to go pick her up, and when you get off the expressway, that's how that movie starts, is getting off of Route 7 and driving through the town, and that's the intro credits. And it looks exactly the same because me driving there in the year 2001, I think it was, me driving through the town, it still looked the same in 2001. It still looks the same now. Nothing has changed in the town. It's a small town. Now, she always tells me the South Side is literally just a small town that's bigger. It's the same vibe, and then you have all these little small towns that are next to each other. And I like these kind of setups and these things, and you have a gazebo, and you have these events and things like that, because that's the small town feel. People want to know what it's like in a small town. You do have those right here in your communities, and I think that they're great, because you can get caught up in the hustle and the bustle and driving down the expressway and getting ticked off because of your commute. Okay, and I think that you're seeing more people on the South Side stick in their little communities or visit ones that are around them, because you can get a lot of entertainment. You can kind of ease back, calm down, have some fun, and you don't need to go into the mess.
No, so Chris, being a Midwesterner, imagine back 200 years, 100 years, the whole Midwest, every town had a pavilion or center of town. And in that town was a gazebo where everything was based off of the pavilion or dance area, a gazebo. And this is retro to that. It has that feel. You go back in the center of town, you've got to listen to your music. And that's that Midwestern sensibility. It's just like, let's bring everybody together, enjoy ourselves, enjoy a little music, togetherness, say hi, and then go back on our way. So, it's good to be able to do that. And coming out of COVID, you've got new artists, new people that found that they're artists, had some skills, and now they want to be social again. And this is a great timing for it. It's a good mix of the artists coming out and the timing of it.
What's your schedule? Give everybody the breakdown. And you know what? I told you this already. Any of your artists want to jump on? We love having musical acts on Southside Pod. Yeah. Okay, you get them in touch with me because I'd be happy to get it out to people when we get closer to the dates. Yep. But what's your lineup look like this summer?
All right, thanks. So June 2nd, we have
July 2nd. You mean?
I'm sorry, July 2nd. Yes, we have JC Jean and Dan of Traveling Music. It's a weird mix. You've got a 16-year-old girl that is paired with musical talents with a 7-year-old man, and they are just fantastic. We have a lot of pop and country music, and she's just getting started, and he's old school skill, and actually they're playing tonight, I believe, at the Bourbon Street. And then we have July 16th is Ginger Wit, some residents, Becky and John, and they're a 3-piece trio that does a lot of eclectic country, pop, and Western, so that's exciting. And then July 30th, is a local, Coco, she was born in Hometown, and a lot of people may know Coco and Fancy. They get around quite a bit. They're a married duo that does acoustic, and they're like a human jukebox. They just go on and do all the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Okay. They're just fantastic. Yeah. August 13th and 27th, we haven't got official confirmations yet, but I have 2 great local bands for that as well. So.
How do people, besides here at Southside Pod, if somebody wants to look it up, the Village have a website? They got some way for people to actually see what the schedule is yet, or not?
It will be on the City of Hometown website, yes, and then we do post it through our, there's a Facebook page that does as well, and I can't recall at the moment, but it'll be on our city website.
All right. Well, I appreciate you jumping on.
Yeah,
I appreciate the scotch. You know, I love the scotch.
Me too. It tastes delicious, and hopefully we can talk more about it after the podcast.
You know what I love about Frank is that he comes in and I go, how much you want? He goes, give me 3 fingers. I'm like, oh, he's a drinker. Oh, we're going to have a good time.
He put a drop of water there for me, though.
That makes all the difference, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Frank Finnegan, Mayor of Hometown. Welcome back anytime. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Chris. Appreciate the time.
It's now time for your Southside Pod Bulletin Board, brought to you by Cool Clouds Vapor Shop. Quitting smoking is hard, and Cool Clouds wants to give you an alternative. Full Taster Bar, great CBD products, right next to the brand new Spoke and Vine Wine Bar. That wine bar is about to open in Evergreen Park next to Cool Clouds on the northeast corner of 95th and Kedzie. See more at coolcloudsvapor.com. This Friday the 23rd, starting at 8 p.m., classic rock and roll, Cruisin' the Loop. They're playing at the Office during Cruise Night, 4901 Calsag Road. Also on Friday the 23rd, Vancouver Brothers at Heart Saloon. They start at 9 p.m. 9858 South Artesian in Evergreen Park. On Saturday, 7 p.m., Heartless is playing at the Hickory Hills Street Fair. And it's also country night at Party in the Park in Burbank. That's at Michael Looney Park, kicking off at 5:30 in the evening. On Sunday, Hailstorm Brewing Company in Tinley Park is doing a sip and script. If you ever want to learn how to do calligraphy, they're going to give you everything, and then they're going to teach you how to do it while you drink beer. Purchase tickets online at hailstormbrewing.com. Blue Island Beer Company has Chain Station, 2 p.m., afternoon matinee show. It's a 4-piece high-energy, get-out-on-the-dance-floor string band from Denver, Colorado. And your After the Weekend special is brought to you by SidSauce.net. The peppers grown on the south side. They make the hot sauces here. Amazing flavors. They deliver to your door. See everything they have to offer at SidSauce.net. Lamont is having a kite flying event on Monday the 26th. It's going to be at Lamont Centennial Park. Imagine an entire park filled with kites and you're in the middle trying to figure out how to get yours out of a tree. Have that experience in Lamont on Monday. I was out in Garfield Ridge this week for Pizza Wars. We talked about it on the last episode. 3 out of 4 judges all picked the same pizza place. But all the pizza places were in that area, or Summit, or Bridgeview. And everybody that was sitting at the table was telling me, this is the best place for pizza. And I kept thinking to myself, I don't know, there's 2 or 3 of them where I live on the south side that beat all of these. And I guarantee, depending on where you live, that influences what you think is good pizza. And it makes me want to have another thing just like the Battle of the South Side, but with pizza. And we're going to do the Battle of the South Side again during March Madness next year.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to do it again. I get so many complaints.
You're talking about the battle that I created?
Yeah, the thing you created.
The one,
Okay.
your idea?
We have to make it better, though. In fact, I'll tell you this, little inside
We have to make it
information
better.
for you.
Uh-oh.
After evaluating the entire thing, working over it with our social media manager, and kind of like understanding how people
Here's
interacted
everything you
with it.
did wrong, Bill.
No, what he did was genius. He didn't know he was doing it, but you could write an entire class on how to get people to interact on social media by what Bill did.
That's your whole idea of behind this podcast, is it not?
Well, yeah, I know. It's total luck.
No, I'm just saying if you involve other people, they'll want to listen.
Right.
And, it's like...
But she looked into what worked. And it turns out the things that got the most interaction, got people fired up and spread it everywhere was, 1, you misseated everybody.
Yeah.
Okay.
It causes... Even bad press is good press.
You pissed people off.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I do best.
Secondly, you left out obvious entries. So people were slighted.
You think that was on accident, Chris?
Yes, I do.
You're right.
It was totally on accident.
You wrote it on a napkin in like 7 minutes. It was on accident, Bill.
You were sitting at the bar while I was setting up the microphones coming up with it.
I thought
so
we had
please.
did we not have a good song about
it was
Crestwood?
great.
It never aired.
No. Everything's aired. All your songs have aired.
The song about Crestwood, we left out
Listen,
Crestwood.
not every song.
There was a song how we left out Crestwood, and I thought it was amazing.
I thought I aired it. Maybe you skipped that episode.
Probably.
Okay,
And
I'll go
there's
back
like
and
a
I'll find it.
92%
I'll go back
chance.
and find it. If I can find it, it'll play after the segment. If I can't find it, it'll be something completely different.
If you didn't play it, I probably said something stupid in the middle.
You
of it.
probably did.
That's also 92% likely.
Yeah, it's a good chance you said something that was inappropriate that would get us canceled immediately and end up on some sort of
Again.
list someplace.
Right.
Okay, yeah, that's probably possible.
Okay.
But that was the thing. She was explaining to me that like everything that worked with it was because you aggravated people.
How do you explain me to Faith? Someone I've never met.
We should have her on the show, first of all.
I want to know
We
like, how
probably should,
like,
yeah.
Hey, I got this guy.
How do I explain?
Yeah.
I go, well, he's
I want honesty here. I want honesty.
okay. I
Take
go,
a long pause
You
there.
don't remember.
Okay.
I don't have feelings.
yes, you do. That's
No,
the
I
thing.
don't.
You
I don't
pretend
think
you
he
don't.
does
but
anymore.
You do.
You pretend
You-
that you
you shut down.
No. You pretend that you don't have feelings, but you do have feelings.
I don't,
You
though.
go to a dark place when you think that people don't like you. You do. Okay.
I know that's the place I want to be.
No, you don't. You don't want to be there. And then your poor wife is like bumps into me and she's like, Bill's a mess. What happened? I'm like, oh, we must have said
Yeah,
something that
Faith
upset him.
doesn't
Yeah.
like him.
Yeah, exactly.
Who's Faith? He doesn't even know.
He doesn't even know. Okay. I basically described you as like an a-hole. And I said like,
Nailed it.
And I said he really likes to get under people's skin. And he kind of comes, but he's very funny. And he sounds very outgoing, but in reality, he would rather not speak to anybody because he hates people. Okay, so I think I nailed it when I broke it
I'm
down.
an extrovert, but I identify as an introvert.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly. That's perfect. That's exactly what you are. Exactly what you are. I want to do another battle online.
Oh, we're still talking about this?
I want to do
Thought we were
something
talking about
like
fate.
August or September. What will get people fired up? And the first thing I thought
we
was
tell
pizza.
them everything they like sucks.
I thought pizza was
Well, the best race.
the best race.
Like
You said piss
5K?
people off, right?
Oh my goodness!
Like the Irish.
We're like
We got the Irish versus the Italians.
Irish versus Italians. We're gonna
Oh
put
my
them
God.
in. That'd be amazing.
Right.
We get the Polish. We get Poland versus
This is a
Russians.
bad idea.
Russians
Yeah,
and the
right,
Polish. Yeah,
right.
we do that. We get the
be
Russians
great.
versus the Polish. Yeah, we could do that. Which ones hate each other the most, right? Mexican girls always hated the Puerto Rican girls, and the
That's-
Puerto Rican girls
he's not
always hated the
wrong.
Mexican girls,
I mean,
right?
he's not wrong.
Yeah, it's true. It's
help,
true. No,
help,
it's
faith,
true.
Faith.
This will never air. I think we should focus
that
on
would be
pizza
national
and
news.
beef sandwiches.
Battle. Yeah, race madness.
Right, right. Then we could do battle of the genders. We could just have male and female
Right,
in
that's
one
it.
one.
We go right to the battle. We go right to the end. That's
Right to the
it.
finals.
Right to the direct to the finals.
It's the Southside! It's the Southside! It's Southside Pod! Thanks for listening! Thanks for tuning in to the Southside Pod! Y'all come back now, you hear?